That was perfect.
Okay, cool. This one better?
Yeah.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
See the name Moda. See it.
I need a Jose Moda above my head soon, man. Right next to it.
I'm not there yet.
I trust, man. Yeah, you are. Humble as always.
I don't care how many times this team rips my heart out, I'll never stop loving the Los Angeles Dodgers. Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What's going on, Dodgers Nation? Welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on the X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Thank you for joining us again for the #1 Dodgers show on YouTube. And today we have a special guest, my friend, the great Jose Moda. Jose, thanks for joining us today, my man.
Doogie, so good to be talking baseball with you again. I want to say, now that we are pretty much in the airs of Christmas and the holidays, so everybody, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and to you and your group, man, you guys are blowing up, man. I'm like, wow, every time I got to get some news, Dodgers, inside stuff. The Andrew Friedman interview was just off the charts. And you know what? You guys collaborating with me and more with Moda, man. More with Moda because of you guys and your collaboration has been really taken off too. So, man, let's talk some baseball. Dodgers looking good, and there's way more to add, I think, also, Doogie.
It's all thanks to you. The More with Moda is helping us grow, and we love having you on our Instagram, so always look for his inside stuff in Dodger baseball, so definitely check that out. And, of course, got to start with Shohei Otani because there's a lot of talk. Otani, he wanted to join a team that gives him the best chance to win the World Series, stay on the West Coast, join iconic franchise. I also think that he wanted to reunite with Jose Moda. First and foremost, what was your reaction? How excited are you to see him in Dodger Blue? For someone that was the broadcast for the Angels for so many years, that got to see him up close and personal, what can Dodgers fans expect to see him on a day-to-day basis?
First of all, my reaction was one of relief in a way because I really selfishly did not want to see Shohei Otani in another uniform besides the Angels than the Dodgers, okay? I want to see Shohei Otani stay in this area. Obviously, it is a business. I know Show very well, Lipe, and obviously Nez Balella too. And I just had a feeling that, the Dodgers were going to be so aggressive with him that they're going to be setting a standard in a bar that Shohei was just not going to be able to say no. And anything that he asked for was accommodated, obviously within the Dodgers parameters too. And for the city of Los Angeles, for the fans, man, I've done countless interviews since that day, and especially to Japan, where I say the fans made this happen. Doug, we can't ignore the fact that this fan base and the support and the history and the trajectory makes it so attractive for premier free agents to want to play here. That's another issue. Obviously, you got to have deep pockets. They have that. Connection with Japan. They have that. And then for Shohei, which I know is number one thing from the very first day, Doug, that I interviewed him at Angel Stadium, December of 2017 when he was introduced, he always talked about winning. We got to Anaheim, it was about, I want to win here. And I actually remember I was wearing my Angels 2002 ring for that interview with Patrick O'Neill. And I go, Show, I have my ring here. Would you like to touch it? He goes, no. I'm not going to touch it. No. He was a little superstitious about that. But I'm truly excited to see this premier player, 2 MVPs, unanimous MVPs. Best player on the planet right now, undoubtedly and uncontested. The global face of baseball, not the Dodgers, of baseball, globally, not the face of baseball, globally the face of baseball. And I was in Japan in November, and I'll tell you one thing, man. It was like anybody that recognized me was like, is he going to come to the Dodgers? We want him to go to the Dodgers. And it went for 10 hats that I saw, 10 MLB hats that I saw in the streets of Japan, and I went to 6 different cities, 8 Dodger hats.
Unbelievable.
8 Dodger hats. And that's just who he is. Now, on the field, obviously, it needs to happen because he's getting paid to do what? To play baseball and to play a very high level. He needs to bring his game, not try to do more than he's capable of doing. But for Shohei, I know this as a personal friend. He knows there's always another level. He's like Mike Trout. He's like, okay, what did I do last year? Let's take it to another level. How am I going to do it? By discipline, by working out at Dodger Stadium as we speak, by being dedicated and knowing that he does have a bigger responsibility, knowing that Freddie Freeman's and Mookie Betts and Will Smith of the world and all these fans from all over the place are just waiting to see that show take action with number 17 wearing Dodger blue.
Yeah, and you talk about taking it to another level. And you look at this lineup last season. They were the best lineup ever for Los Angeles Dodgers baseball as far as scoring over 900 runs for the first time since they relocated from Brooklyn to LA. Scored 5.59 runs per game. That was second behind the Braves. You had JD Martinez, who had a fantastic year, an all-star season, 33 home runs. But as great as JD Martinez was, he's not Shohei Otani. Shohei Otani's on another level. How do you think that Otani can take this Dodgers lineup to the next level?
Well, it's going to be by a couple of things. Number one is Shohei needs as many reps at top of the order as he can have. I'm sold on the idea that he should be batting behind Mookie Betts. I want my top players to get the most at bats. That means Freddie Freeman, and then nothing to take away from All-Star catcher and one of the best in the game today in Will Smith. But that's a pretty deep lineup, 1 through 4, 1 through 5. Then EX Max Muncy. Oh my God! I mean, the RBIs that he had last year with the home runs and all that. And Jason Hayward, who, we know it's going to be one where he can repeat it, but what Shohei brings is the ability to, number one, with one swing, early or late in the game, give you a run or two. With him getting on base, the pressure's on the guy on the mound because he said can run and still freely. If he's able to just have a green light, which at times we don't want, 45, 50 bases, easy, especially with new rules, easy 50 bases, okay? I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's just the type of threat he's going to bring on the base pass. The patience on the way he understands now the strike zone, the ability to strike the ball to all fields, and then the grinding at bats, which is something that really stood out to me. You were there during the press conference when Andrew Freeman said this. I'm like, man, that taken out of my mouth because I saw this happen with bad Angels teams where it was a ninth inning and they were down 9-1 or 10-0 or. And this guy was grinding it at bat like it was the seventh game of the World Series. That keeps fans in the stands. And mainly, too, and my last point is, Shohei Otani knows that if he's going to be pitched to, he's surrounded by players that are going to do some damage. Now, understanding that, the Dodgers need more than offense, man. This offense is great. We all love it. 111 wins, 100 wins, but you cannot shut down in October. And on top of that, you have to be able to pitch.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll get into that in a second. So it sounds like you want to see Otani batting in between Mookie and Freddie. So even if you have a lefty and the opposing manager wants to go to that lefty out of the bullpen, Otani and Freeman, they've proven throughout their career they can hit southpaws, right? It's not going to be an issue. I also was thinking, look, hey, Otani, he's bat leadoff at some point of his career. Maybe down the line, Mookie slows down a little bit. You just got tons of options, but I'm with you 100%. I like him there in the 2-hole. He's going to do damage surrounding by, yes, he was with Mike Trout, but 1 through 9, I think this lineup gives him a better chance to just even take his game to a whole nother level, playing in front of a sold-out crowd. It's going to be electric at Dodger Stadium. Now, one thing I do want to ask you, though, was 2019. He's recovering from the Tommy John surgery. If you look at his numbers that year, they were really good, but they weren't unanimous MVP good. Dealing with that Tommy John, recovering from that. Do you think that fair expectations next year should be tempered a little bit coming off that injury, or should we expect unanimous level MVP Otani in 2024, Jose?
Togi, that's a great observation because I remember doing the pre and post games in some Angels games that year, and I'm looking at his swing, and his swing is not the same. And he's wearing a bigger protector on his elbow and his whole arm. And I really believe, and I had this conversation with Tim Salmon. At first, Tim didn't agree with me, but I'm like, I just have proof that he is not getting through the baseball the same way. And if you look at 2019 videos, as you mentioned, Shohei wasn't Shohei on certain areas of the strike zone. And he was expanding at times, and there's times when he was tentative when he saw certain pitches in certain areas. Now, he learned from that. And speaking to him lately, since this surgery, he learned from that on what parts of the zone he needs to go out there and exploit and not miss pitches on and be more aggressive on because he was thinking about protecting the arm. And believe me that as unique and as premier these athletes are, and I was never at that level, there's always that concern of the injury happening again. You don't play with that in your mind every single time, but you're cautious of things that could happen if you go out there and think that you are playing at 100%, which he's not going to with that front arm, right? But Shohei learned that expanding the zone that year was not the best thing. Look at the numbers. So I think he's going to close it down and say, hey, if sacrificing maybe getting out of my zone it's not my game and I can take the walk, I'll take the walk. But he knows he's got to be almost like a Barry Bondish mentality of saying, if I see a pitch or two, I better not waste them. But I have no doubt in my mind that because of his track record and the way he's learned and applied knowledge and ability to adjust mentally and physically, that he learned from that year that if he cannot extend fully or turn a fastball in, he's going to make some adjustments in a batter's box to maximize whatever it is that he has. Now, in 2020, Doug, that's when it got ugly.
Yeah.
2020 is when he's coming back from the injury. He was horrendous on the mound. It was to the point where they're like, you know what, we can't pitch him anymore. He made 2 starts and he was pretty much out of whack. He became a hitter again, and then he struggled at the plate because he could not get set with his feet. And it was all still connected to protecting that arm. But then we saw 2021, he actually hired himself a pitcher for the offseason in 2020 because Shohei was benched at the end of 2020 by Joe Madden. And I remember Albert Pujols was very upset about that. Albert was
That's insane to think about.
He's like, no,
Yeah.
this guy's got to play. And when he came back, it was vengeance, man. MVP, got the guy that he needed on the mound to get his feet set and just did not miss anything. And here we are talking about perhaps the most prodigious free agent name to ever come aboard, and he is a Dodger.
100%. Yeah, a couple more get you out of here, Jose. But yeah, absolutely. That 2020 season bat under 200, the OPS under 700. I will say, though, such a small sample size relative to a full regular season. Want to give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt that year, but like you said, the adjustments he made, coming back with a vengeance, and really putting himself in a position to be in the conversation for one of the best players of all time with his performance in the last couple years. So no doubt about that. Do want to switch gears a little bit, talk about the pitching side that you just brought up. And of course, you're the expert in all things baseball, but you have a great perspective when it comes to Japanese players. And when I talk about Yoshinobu Yamamoto, because Yamamoto, he is the top free agent that still has not signed. You've heard the Dodgers and the Yankees mentioned as the top 2 favorites to land him. First question I want to ask you about him, though, is when you look at his stuff, pristine command. He limits home runs at an elite level. He's got an electric forkball, fastball. Do you think that he's going to have a seamless transition to the show and that he can be an ace of a championship-level team in year 1, Jose?
I would put him in number 1 right now with any team in baseball right now.
Whoa.
This guy's a true number 1, man. There's no doubt that he attacks the zone with plenty of pitches around the zone, a lot of deception. Now, he does not even lift his leg up to pitch. I mean,
Yeah.
And the one thing I've heard is about his physical makeup and his build. Let's not get fooled by these big 6'5", 230 guys, okay? I'm going to go back to the days of a guy named Pedro Martinez, okay? I'm going to go back to guys that were built. Greg Maddux, he started as a power pitcher when I faced him in the minor leagues, but became a finesse guy. But one thing that I've heard about Yamamoto is the fact that he's not too much into the weights and that regimen of weightlifting that's so prominent today in baseball, which Shohei bought into, and he's now one of those guys. But the guy knows how to pitch. Let's not get lost in that, okay?
Yeah.
He will have success as long as, at least for the first year or two, he is kept under the Japanese strict once-a-week type of pitching schedule. I saw with Ohtani, when it changed with Ohtani was not the same guy. So just introduce him to that, save some bullets for later in the season when you can go back and say, hey, by the way, not a bad thing to start you twice this week, with 5 days rest. So he will have that kind of stuff. Now, for Yamamoto, too, when I saw him, and then I'm in a little more research talking to his manager, Hideki Kuriyama, I asked about the makeup and what makes him so special. He goes, this guy doesn't miss a beat. He studies hitters. His stuff, he knows how to adjust sometimes and slowing down his breaking ball to make it look more like the splitter, and just some fascinating stuff that they do with video and imaging and like designing pitches. They just go, this is way beyond, man. But this guy does have the ability to carve you out and perhaps, yes, be a number 1. And I say number 1 because of the stuff and the success that he's had, but also velocity, deception, ability to carve you out, pitch ahead of the zone, and pitch in the zone a lot. Not a guy that walks a lot of guys. But also they say that cautiously because you cannot have a number 1 guy pitching once a week. But I do know that
That's a great point.
if I'm the guy that's going to get him, I am going to just keep that program and reintroduce him again to the big leagues gradually, knowing that I also got to save some arms and some bullets from him for October.
And with the mound being a little different, the ball being a little different, like you said, the schedule being different, do you think that's overblown as far as Japanese pitchers adjusting to the show? Of course, the hitters are different as well. Or do you think that's something that he's going to be able to handle and you can pitch, you can pitch?
It's reality. I
Yeah.
mean, they do adjust to that. I mean, going back to Shohei Otani, spring training 2018, terrible. Couldn't pitch. He couldn't hit. And he never brought it up. But all the people that I spoke with, former pitching coach Hiroki over in Japan said, Jose, the ball might be an issue because he does depend on the feel of the seams. And in Japan, the ball's a little tackier. Even the dirt on the mound is a little different in Japan than it is here in the U.S. And the way the mounds are configured in the U.S., ours are a little different. But Shohei never mentioned it. There was people around him saying it, but all Shohei kept saying was, it's different, but I need to adjust. I signed here for a reason. It is for a one-half successor. All these guys know that now with a guy like Ohtani, obviously going back to Hideo Nomo, and the guys that have adjusted well, they adjust for a reason because they get over all these physical limitations and changes and know that there's a different brand of baseball, different teams you're facing 1 through 9. The scrappy hitter, that go the other way type of guy that exists a lot in Japan, that's disappeared a lot in the big leagues. The number 8, number 9 guy can hurt you with a home run, and they know how to go through that to know that the process is different. They need to adjust, but they understand more and more with more players having success or failures here that it takes way more than just the mound, the ball, the environment, or pitching once a week to come out here and make a name.
I love, yeah. If you like it, I love it. I mean, you got me all in on Yamamoto. I mean, I hear people talking about his height. I love you bring up Pedro Martinez. Had that work out for him. Guys like Mike Hampton, right? If you can pitch at this level, you can pitch.
Billy Wagner. I mean, there's a
Thank you.
plethora
Yeah,
of guys.
absolutely.
Everybody is different. Then we can go, Doug, and talk about, wow, that perfect 6'3", 225 guy that was
Rookie.
drafted because the scout says, wow, he can miss. Well, it doesn't work that way. But you can tell me all you want about sabermetrics and analytics and size and radar guns, but I measure here, man. Measure the heart. You're still talking about a heartbeat with these guys, and when somebody has it, guess what? He just has it.
100%. So, yeah, you got people talking about, oh, would you rather get a Yamamoto on a $300 million deal or a trade for a Cease or a Burns? I mean, for me, I think I go with the unknown in Yamamoto with the potential that he has. You give Ohtani another W because I thought Ohtani wasn't supposed to pitch this season. Well, he's already been pitching to Glass now. He pitched to Yamamoto as far as pitching this organization and what's so great about it. So it'll be another dub for him. But last question I have for you, Jose, and I'll get you out here on this one. 1, do you have a dog? And 2, what's his name?
I do have a dog. Where's the dog? Let's see. It's not Decoy.
It's not Decoy? Oh,
no, it's not. It's not Decoy.
we're gonna see the dog.
Let's see. Where is Nebo? He is. Let's see. I'm trying to find the dog. Yeah, we love our dog. There he is.
Oh, the MTV Cribs, Manny Moda style or Jose Moda style. Is Manny in the house?
More with Moda. There he is.
There we go. Oh, there.
Nemo. Oh, Nemo.
Oh, what
boy.
a hey
He's
boy.
right
Woof, woof, woof. Look at that Dodger dog right there. That's what I'm talking about.
He's a Vizsla dog.
A Vizsla, I love it.
Then you got the little dude right here.
It's got that dog. Oh, there's a grandson. Hey.
Look, and he's a big Shohei Otani fan, bro. Let me tell you.
That's a future first ballot Hall of Famer right there. Make sure he signs with the Dodgers, right? Give us a discount. Make sure he defers all of his money too. Not 97%, 99% deferrals, okay?
Hey, Grandpa will take care of that. Don't worry about that.
Awesome. Well, Jose, we appreciate the time. We'll check in with you soon. All the expertise, the insight, the analysis. We hope you have a great holiday season. Merry Christmas. And thank you so much, Jose. Really appreciate it, my man.
Always. I got more for you.
All
now,
right.
with Moda, because of you guys and your great editing and all that, your contributions, I have manager Mike Scioscia coming up talking about what is it like to manage Shohei Otani. It's coming. I have Jose Molina, former Angels coach, talking about how does Shohei Otani prepare for a start. That's coming too. And I have a former teammate in Jose Quintana saying, who would Shohei Otani, the teammate, all coming up with you and me, my friend, and more with Moda very soon here on social media.
He's a content creator. He's a content machine. Mr. Jose Moda. Go follow him on Twitter and Instagram. Look for his stuff on our Dodgers Nation Instagram page. We're going to have him back here at some point very, very soon to continue to break down your Los Angeles Dodgers, the expert on all things Dodger baseball, Dodgers play-by-play broadcaster, Mr. Jose Moda. Jose, it's always a blast to have you on, and have a great weekend. Have a Merry Christmas, my guy.
You guys be well. Many, many blessings to you.
All right,
Take
thanks,
care.
Jose. Take it easy. And that was Jose Moda joining us here on Dodgers Dugout Live. And let us know down below in the comments some of your reactions to some of the things he had to say. For me, he's got me all the way hyped to a 10 once again on Yoshinobu Yamamoto. The thing that really sticks out to me was when he said that he would be the number one on any team in baseball right now. That is a bold statement. That's the boldest statement literally I've ever heard when it comes to what we're talking about with Yamamoto. I mean, we're talking about the unknown quantity, someone who hasn't pitched on this level before. So I think when you look at where the Dodgers are at right now, if you could sign him, we broke down the contract possibility yesterday, the implications to the posting fee, the luxury tax, going past that CBT. You're looking at pretty much $17 million in addition to the posting fee, close to $40 million. But I think at the end of the day, the Dodgers realize the value of having a pitcher in their absolute prime at 25 years of age who is an unknown quantity. He's a unknown to big league hitters out there, the advantage that could provide. And I also love the fact that this team, we heard it on this show, becoming the team of Japan. And you have Ohtani, you have Yoshinobu, Yamamoto. I think it's going to be stiff competition at the end of the day. We've heard that the Dodgers and the Yankees, they are the two favorites at the moment. But with the Jeff Bezos of baseball, Mr. Stephen Cohen out there spending FU money, there's a possibility he could go to the Mets as well. The Giants, I want to rule them out. But I want to read some of these comments here. We got Showtime fans over $300 million for Yamamoto. Joshua Munn over there, just pay the man like you did Ohtani and call it a day. You sound like David Ortiz. Pay the man. We got Mostly Claus. Where were they gone? Were they going to wait? Where were they going to? Come on now. We got to split complete sentence here. What up, Dodgers Nation from Erie? We got Pete James over there. Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for rocking with us. Justin Lambas, Yamamoto in Queens would be like Kevin Durant in Brooklyn. That's a fire take from my guy, Justin Lambas. Absolutely. No doubt about it. You trust your scouts, and if Freeman is all in on them, you trust their experts. That's from Moose 1032. That's what I always say. If the Dodgers like it, I love it, because as much information as I consume, I'm pretty much doing this stuff 24/7, 365, dreaming about this stuff. They have access and the eyes of the best in the game when it comes to scouting and development. And if they are willing to break from their essential rules when it comes to being extremely selective, when it comes to giving out extremely large $300+ million contracts, if they're willing to do that for someone who hasn't thrown one pitch at the big league level, that essentially tells you everything you need to know about how this organization feels about Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Remember, this is the Los Angeles Dodgers. This is the team that, since they relocated from Brooklyn to LA, they have the lowest ERA in the sport. This is an organization that has been built on starting pitching, and to have Yoshinobu Yamamoto fronting their rotation, it would be absolutely electric. And I think that if it's close, and you might have to go up just a tad, but he would sign with the Dodgers, the Dodgers absolutely need to go the extra mile to get Yoshinobu Yamamoto, because the time is now. You have to win with this group. Freddie's not getting any younger. Mookie's not getting any younger. You just signed the biggest superstar on the planet in his absolute prime at age 29. You get Yamamoto. You win next year. We start this Dodgers dynasty. But here we go. We got trade for Rosarena. We need a left fielder. That's from Hollywood Crew. So that's a great segue a little bit. We'll continue to read your comments. And I think you look at that right there. If you sign Yamamoto, you would have to believe that most likely that takes you out of the mix to trade for Dylan Cease, to trade for Corbin Burns. I mean, potentially if you want to go absolutely crazy and you want to unload some of these prospects and the price is right, maybe you consider it. But most likely you traded for Glass. Now you got Yamamoto. That means I get my wish list of what I asked for the day after the Dodgers lost to the D-backs in the NLDS. So I'd feel really good about that. But you still have a Michael Busch who's 26 years old, who does not belong at the AAA level. You have to free Michael Busch. There's essentially no role for him on this team. not going to be playing first base, not going to be playing second base. And if you look at the left field spot, he's a left-handed hitter. If he was right-handed, it would make a lot more sense. But there is no role for Michael Busch. And I think he's someone that you have to absolutely trade this offseason. One, for the player, but most importantly, to add to this team and bolster this lineup, because how do you increase Michael Busch's stock at this point? There's essentially no way to increase it, right? He's already raked at the minor league level for years now. And you know the word is out about the pitching quality in AAA compared to the pitching quality in the show. The gap there is as wide as it's ever been. So even if he goes and has a 1,300 OPS in AAA, I don't think that's going to raise his stock more than it already is, because he's already proven he can have success at that level. And if you look at how he's fared at the major league level, he just hasn't gotten the requisite plate appearances to give a large enough sample size for it to make a lot of sense. I mean, last season with the Dodgers in spurts, he had some moments. The game, that big hit against the Pirates, I mean, he had some moments. There's no doubt about it, but he hit 167 at the end of the day. And that was with 72 at-bats. That's not enough at-bats to judge a player. He needs 300, 400, 500 at-bats with the team to truly evaluate his potential. So the point I'm trying to make is that with Michael Busch still in the fold, knowing you need to trade him, then someone brought Randy Arozarena. Then do you try to find your impact left fielder bat via trade because you signed Yamamoto? I think that's where this would go from a direction standpoint. Right now, if you don't sign Yamamoto, the backup plan is use the trade chips to try to get Burns, Cease, Luzardo. But if you sign Yamamoto, you're looking to add another impact bat, and Arozarena 100% is a guy you would want. I talked to Nightingale a couple weeks ago. He told us that right now the Rays aren't desperate to trade him, but you would have to believe that after completing that Glasnow deal with Margot included for Pepiot and DeLuca, that they at least had some conversations about it, that they at least got a feel for the asking price, which we've heard is astronomically high right now because Arozarena is under 3 years of team control. But that is kind of the direction would be the ideal dream scenario if you could find a way to pull something like that up. But more comments here. We got trade for Santander. I like that idea. That's from Michael Carrillo over there on YouTube. Diego Hernandez, why don't the Dodgers pursue Montgomery? Diego Hernandez, look, I mentioned on this show for weeks now that Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery, I think it's an age factor. I think that, let's not forget, at the end of the day, this is still the Dodgers. And yes, they gave Shohei Otani a big bag, but guess what? There's a report out there they can make $1 billion off Shohei Otani. And if they invest the money wisely with the revenue they're going to generate with his deferrals, having only to pay him $2 million a year, after a couple years, of course, they have to make it to obvious to Major League Baseball that they're good for it, right? They still have to pay it, but still, by the time they have to pay out the 97% of that money with no interest, right? They could fund that pretty easy when you look at how much money this organization generates. And this is an organization that looked at Ohtani as investment, and they look at Yoshinobu Yamamoto as someone who is in their absolute prime at 25 years old. You're going to get his best years out of him from 25 to 30. Maybe he opts out after 30 and signs another deal and re-enters free agency. But we still haven't seen the Dodgers offer a 31-year-old that kind of money, right? As far as a 5-year deal, that's what Jordan Montgomery is going to get. Jordan Montgomery, we've talked about him on this show. He's someone who does a lot of things really, really good, had a really, really solid postseason with some really great starts mixed in there. He was fantastic, especially in his start against the Rays early on. That really set the tone for that championship run for the Rays, for the Rangers against the Rays. But Montgomery's going to turn 31 on December 27th. And he's put himself in a position to get a payday where he's probably around Glasnow money, right? And I just don't think the Dodgers want to go that route because I don't think they view the upside there with him enough. I think at best you're going to get 3 solid years out of him, maybe 4, and then he'll have his moments for the next couple seasons. And he could be one of the best pitchers in the game as far as top 15, 20, but his upside potential is nowhere near where Glasnow's is, right? And I think the Dodgers, they look for that peak upside potential, and I just don't think that Montgomery, the Dodgers, is a great fit. Then you add the Boris angle, and that's kind of the icing on the cake. But we got Show Him the Money. That's from Lemon818. We got Tommy Pham. That's from Justin Lamas. Yeah, by the way, definitely hit that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. We appreciate you rocking with us here on a Thursday edition of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you are eligible for all of our giveaways. Hit that notification bell. You guys, this channel is all about you, the fan out there, so definitely be sure to do that. Justin Lamas, Stan Glasnow, and Yamamoto share the same agent. Cashman said Stan being injury-prone was part of his game while Friedman extended Glasnow. Yeah, it's an interesting point. All that stuff, honestly, behind closed doors probably plays a little bit of a factor. Sup with Hader. So, Carlos, thoughts on Hader? My thoughts are really this. I mean, first of all, Zay, D-Mac, let's go all on Yamamoto. I agree with you 100%. Make that one of my first comment of this show. So, my thoughts on Hader are this. First, he's someone who is a designated, almost an old school, lights out, slam the door shut closer, right? Previous seasons, we saw him as a multi-inning, lights out, high leverage reliever with the Brewers. You saw a strikeout rate at one point above 47%. Strikeout rate is still very high. He still is extremely effective, but at this stage of his career, he's a one-inning closer in a traditional sense. And absolutely, if you look at where the Dodgers bullpen is right now, with the strides that Brusdar Graterol has made, he had the best year of his career last year. Evan Phillips is still one of the top 10 best relievers in the sport. I think he's better suited for that high leverage fireman role where you can use him in different situations, whether it be the 7th, the 8th, top of the lineup. I think you want to be able to maintain some flexibility with Evan Phillips. But with Josh Hader last season, a 36.8% strikeout rate, the walk rate high at 13%, but a 128 ERA at 269 FIP, electric stuff. Now, the question is, how could the Dodgers get him? Because he's someone who is looking for a contract north of $100 million. And if you look at a lot of the projections out there, they project that he is going to sign the biggest deal for a reliever, topping what Edwin Diaz got with the New York Mets. And yes, still that is possible, but ask yourself right now, where is his market? I mean, who's going to pay him that kind of money? Unless a team steps up and says, okay, we want to give Josh Hader that kind of money and break him off $100 million plus, and sure, I'm sure that right now Josh Hader would sign with any team right now that would offer him that kind of contract. But if that contract doesn't exist, this is where the Dodgers do what they always do, and they become opportunistic, like they did with Freddie Freeman. Freddie Freeman fell into the Dodgers' lap because the Atlanta Braves did not give him the kind of contract that he wanted. The Dodgers said, okay, we're right here. We'll give you $162 million, $55 million in deferrals, and they were able to get him. Josh Hader could be a situation where if he doesn't get the kind of contract he's after, maybe you could get him on a shorter term deal with a higher AAV. That, to me, would be the path to getting Josh Hader. And maybe if you don't get Yoshinobu Yamamoto and you still got some money burning in your pocket and you want to improve this roster, and you don't feel like you're going to go out there and sign one of the free agent bats available like a Jorge Soler or a Teoscar Hernandez or guys like that, maybe you see if you can get Hader on a shorter-term deal and you try to shorten the game. Because really you're trying to get starters, go 6-7, but if you get Hader and you got a Brusdar, a Joe Kelly, a Evan Phillips, and a Hader back into your bullpen right there, then you really shorten that game and you get the outs at the end, and then you use the trade chips to get a starting pitcher. So I think there is some path to getting Josh Hader. I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility. Anything's possible for this organization. I just think that right now the biggest domino is, do they get Yoshinobu Yamamoto? Because they're not going to sign Yamamoto for $300 million and Hader for $100 million, right? That's unlikely. But I do think there is a world where you could potentially get Hader if he falls into your lap at the right price. But let's continue to break it down. Let's see these comments. Do you see us getting Yamamoto? I definitely think that they have a decent chance. I think it's, at this point, the fit. I think that there's a lot of guessing games when it comes to Yamamoto. You have insiders saying that he wants the bright lights. He wants the big stage. Well, yeah, the Yankees are the Yankees, but the biggest stage in baseball for the next 10 years is going to be at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles with Shohei Otani. As big as the Yankees are, the Dodgers are bigger right now because the Dodgers have the biggest superstar in the game, and there's no close second. Aaron Judge, Juan Soto, you combine those guys, they're not even the dirt on Ohtani's cleats when it comes to how famous Ohtani is internationally. And I love those players, but that's just how big Ohtani is, especially when he steps on the mound next year and starts pitching again in 2025. But we got Sweet Jesus. We should move Will Smith to third base at some point. Bat is too good, and he breaks down in the second half. Plus, a move like that allows us to bring up rushing or card tie. That's from Sweet Jesus. So you bring up a lot of fantastic points there. And the first one I want to mention is about Will Smith. And when you say his bat is too good, there's no doubt about that. Will Smith isn't just a good hitter or a catcher. He's a good hitter for any position. And he dealt with the rib injury, the concussion injury last year. He was dealing with some stuff that definitely impacted his swing and his production at the plate, but he was still a really, really good player and a guy who made his first All-Star team. He ended up finishing the year with a 114 OPS plus, hit 19 home runs, had 4.1 WAR. But I'll be here to tell you this. Will Smith is capable of a better year than that. His production at the plate was a little bit of a drop-off than what we saw the year before. He had a 124 OPS plus in 2022. That dropped 10 points last season. The OPS went from 807 in 2022 to 797. I do think a lot of that towards the end of the season was that injury that he was dealing with, but you saw the quality of contact go down, and frankly, he did, as you point out, look fatigued at the plate at times. So I think that's a good point. As far as moving him to third base, well, one, Will Smith wants to be a catcher. I think he wants to be compensated as a catcher. But we've seen players in the past make that move. They've had success with that move. And Will Smith did play a little third base a few years ago. So if he was open to the idea, I'd be open to the idea as well. But I think that would be kind of a tough sell, because I think if you're Will Smith at this point, your path to, he played some first base. He played some first base. Played one game at one plate appearance at first base, at 46 at DH, 31 at the pinch hitter spot, 409 at catcher. And you look at a couple years ago in 2022, I mean, of course, it's the smallest sample size of all sample sizes. It kind of makes you wonder. He's an athletic guy, right? He can find a way to learn that position, but I just think it's unlikely, because Will Smith has improved so much as a game caller defensively. If you look at his metrics, he's just fine, and his path to getting a $115 million payday is behind the dish. So right now, I don't think that's something that they are strongly considering, but it just kind of makes you wonder. I mean, he has played some third base in the past, but I think that moving forward, you're more likely to see Rushing and Cartaya get moved than Will Smith move to third base, especially when you consider how win now this team is at the moment. But yeah, don't kid yourself. I mean, you have a surplus of catchers, but we got Jason Jones, D-Mac. Do you really want to see Muncy playing third base every day, and especially in the playoffs? Jason, when I wake up at 3:30 in the morning in a cold sweat, it is when I'm thinking of Max Muncy at third base in a close game in the NLCS of the World Series, and you got a chopper down the line and gets past him, or maybe he bobbles one, the ball becomes a bar of soap for a couple seconds there. I'm not going to lie, that's definitely a cause for concern for me personally. If you look at his defensive metrics, they grade out as one of the worst defensively at that position in the show last season. So bring my facts to the fight. That's just the fact with Max Muncy. But I think you do have to lean on the pros and cons and the net benefits. I mean, would you rather have a third baseman that hits 15 home runs that is better defensively, or a third baseman that's the only place to put him and he hits 36 home runs and has a 115 OPS plus and an 808 OPS and has a history as being a really good hitter in October? So you kind of have to weigh the pros with the cons and hope that defensively he can just get as close to league average as possible. And unfortunately, it's more of a fit issue right now for Max Muncy, because Muncy essentially is a designated hitter that's masquerading as a third baseman, and his best position defensively is at first base. Last time I checked, there's a guy by the name of Frederick Freeman who's playing first base, and he has played at a Gold Glove level in the past, and that's where he plays. So he ain't playing first base. Second base, which Muncy has talked about as his favorite position to play defensively. With the restriction on the shift, you got Mookie Betts there as your everyday second baseman now. That's not going to happen, right? So there's just nowhere to put Max Muncy other than DH, and, well, Shohei Otani, and he's going to be your DH. So it's more of a fit situation. I mean, that's just the breaks right now. And I will say, if I had to list out my biggest concerns heading into next season, it is the defense on that side of second base, the left side of your infield with Gavin Lux and Max Muncy. Lux still hasn't played a full season at shortstop. He definitely hasn't played a full season at shortstop with the restriction on the shift. I have confidence that he has the ability to get it done, but the reality is we just have not seen it. And until we see it, we are not going to know for a fact that he can't handle that position. So it's absolutely a cause for concern. And the good thing is you do have Miguel Rojas that you can plug in there to give you some depth, to give you some defensive versatility. But hey, let's hope that this team scores 6 runs a game and the pitching is better, and that Max Muncy's defense won't be too much of a liability. But absolutely, I mean, there's no sugarcoating it, and that's not what we do on this show. We keep it a buck with you, and that absolutely is a concern. But glad you brought that up, because, look, I mean, that's why I was talking about a couple of days ago. What if you guys still bring up Nolan Arenado? If you just want to be dreaming here, if you want to go Dream World Dodgers, what if you traded for Arenado? Ohtani played some left field. You put Max Muncy the DH spot. That could be a solution there, but I doubt we'll see that. But a man can dream, can he? But let's go down below in the comments section here, guys. And thanks for rocking with us on a Thursday edition of Dodgers Dugout Live. If you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button. Also, go to DodgersNation.com for all your Dodgers news and rumors. If you head over there right now, we got some articles up. We got Tyler Glasnow believes his injury issues are behind him. Go read up on that. Tyler Glasnow makes his pitch for Yoshinobu Yamamoto. By the way, Tyler Glasnow on the show tomorrow. What should I ask Tyler? I'm excited about that one. Cease has to be a main pickup. That's from Lemon818. Showtime fans, I'm going to Japan next month. Maybe I get Ohtani t-shirts from Japan. Showtime, send a couple my way. We got No on Hater. Good morning, Dodgers fans. Merry Christmas and be safe this weekend. Like I said, our parents had a great Christmas. We got a lot of presents under the tree, but I'm greedy. I want more. We got Ohtani. I want Yamamoto. I want it all. We got Moose 1032. Doug, I think the Phillies will get Hater. They need a closer, and Dombrowski isn't afraid to spend. That's a fire take, Moose. I absolutely think it's a fire take, and I think if I had to pick a team right now, that would be my gut instinct pick. So that's a fire take from Moose over there on YouTube. I like that, because clearly, if you heard yesterday, the Phillies made an offer to Yamamoto, and they're seen as long shots to sign him. So that tells you got money to spend. I mean, I was impressed by them to lock up Aaron Nola for $165 million. So don't count out that Phillies team next year. I'm excited. That is the NLCS that I want to see. A lot of people want to see Braves versus Dodgers. I've been there, won that in 2020. We'll have the rubber match if you want in 2021. I'd be fine with that. It'd be good for baseball, but I want to see Phillies, Dodgers, Bryce Harper, Ohtani, Trey Turner, Mookie. I think that would be electric, those two stadiums, those two ballparks. We got Yo D-Mac, hit me with the .com. Hey, okay, you crazy. GHI. We got Bobby Valdez. I think JD Martinez's bat more than makes up for his lack of defense. Can't we stick him out there? JD Martinez is going to sign with another team. We got Zoom. Yamamoto would make more off the field with the Dodgers. He would get a little bit from Japan while Ohtani gets most of it. If he goes somewhere else, Ohtani gets it all. Yeah, I mean, what I was saying yesterday was even if look, here's the thing. It's like Kobe Bryant said, Lakers aren't for everyone, right? If he doesn't want to play with Ohtani, it means that maybe he wasn't the right fit in the first place. So you'd feel okay about it. I don't think that's the case. I think he could handle it. There's been a lot of talk about him wanting the bright lights of the big stage. But I do say this, though. If the issue for him is not being in Ohtani's shadow, I don't care. Ohtani's shadow goes from New York all the way to LA, all the way to Japan. There's no way to escape Ohtani's shadow in Major League Baseball. That's how good he is. So just because you're not on Ohtani's team doesn't mean you're not in Ohtani's shadow. And also, Yankees have some stars too. You got one of the best hitters in the game in Soto and an MVP in Aaron Judge. So I think it's more about Yankees, Dodgers, the fit, the city, the lifestyle. Overrated hater. We got some haters. Hey, you got to get some haters or else you're not doing anything, right, Noel? Dylan McKay, $100 million for a hater is an insane move. He's not Mariano or Edwin Diaz. I wouldn't get him at $100 million. I'm just saying if you get him at a discounted higher AAV price, if you strike out on Yamamoto, that seems like a path the Dodgers might consider because they're looking for value. 3 times 50 for a hater, that's a little on the high side. You're not going to have him pass Ohtani's AAV in present-day money. That won't fly. Moose 1032. Don't forget JP Fireeisen. He's healthy, and Dodgers fans are about to understand how good he is. Fireeisen's great. I talked to him a few times last season. He has really embraced this process, embraced this organization. That's a move that LA made that really proves once again that they're playing 4D chess because he was one of the best relievers in the game before he got injured. He had the shoulder surgery. There was an outside shot that he could return last season, but he 100% is going to be back this season. I expect him to be a big part of this Dodgers bullpen. So love that you point that out, Moose. We got Mookie is famous too. Absolutely. Mookie, he drives a Benz too, right? I feel sad for Mike Trout. Mike Trout, he signed that contract, right? He's not going to the organization demanding a trade. So, WD-Mac, what up, Lizeth Rivera? Bring Ryan Brazier back. I love Ryan Brazier. I want him back, but I think he might have priced himself out of L.A. But, yeah, he was fantastic for the Dodgers. Will Smith is the best catcher in baseball. Amen, Phantom. Terry Hesticles, what's up? We got Who Danyo. We got WW. We got some more comments here when they let you guys enjoy the rest of your Thursday afternoon. Leave Smith behind the plate, period. That's from B920. That's where I'm at, too. I don't want to take a big swing and give that much of a shakeup, okay? Let's not forget, Will Smith was at the Yamamoto pitch meeting because, 1, he's an all-star, but 2, he's the guy who's going to be catching him if he signs with this team. So I'm for that for sure. You keep Smitty behind the dish. Some more who won the, so we're still going to give that away. Golf, we're waiting on some more retweets. I'm going to put on a randomizer, but you will see that on my Twitter pretty soon, the Shohei Otani jersey giveaway. So if you haven't yet, if you haven't retweeted that, you can go to my Twitter at DMAC_LA, still be a part of it. But we're going to do a video. It's going to be really cool. And we're going to do a lot more giveaways here on Dodgers Dugout Live. We got neither move Smith to third base. Cartaya graded inside Barnes. Yeah, the interesting thing about Austin Barnes is, let's be honest, how many of you guys out there got your job because your friend hooked you up, right? Friend put in a good word. What if Clayton Kershaw isn't back? What if Clayton Kershaw isn't back towards the end of next season? What if Clayton Kershaw isn't back at all whatsoever? What does that mean for Austin Barnes' job security? Because Austin Barnes, very popular player in the clubhouse. You've heard Mookie say that he's the captain of the team, and I think that he provides a lot from that standpoint. He's great at developing pitchers, great for young pitchers, but with the surplus of catchers that they do have, it makes you wonder if Kersh is gone, how does that impact his job status? We got trade, because remember, I got Hunter Verduccia as well. I mean, he's another guy who got in the mix. We got the best defense Muncy can play is to hit 30 bombs. That's from David Raw. That's a fire take from David Raw out there. He says the best defense Muncy can play is to hit 30-plus bombs. We got Leonardo Blanco. Hey, D-Mac, what about Burns and Adames as a kicker? So the latest on Adames and Burns is that right now, if they get traded, it's most likely in separate deals. So that's kind of where they stand. And Adames is a guy that defensively one of the best in the game. On-base percentage is low as far as substandard for what the Dodgers look for. But he does have some pop, great intangibles on a 1-year contract. 1 year remaining on his contract. So it kind of makes you wonder if that makes a ton of sense from that standpoint, because you want to see what you have in Gavin Lux. If Gavin Lux can be that guy for you moving forward, and you could solidify that position for someone who is under team control for 3 more seasons, it makes you wonder if that is the move, to just go through the growing pains of Lux at that position and see if he can handle it. And if he can, great. If he doesn't, then you have to explore your options there. Yamamoto will sign with the Red Sox for either 12 years, $350 million plus posting fee, or 14 years, $400 million plus posting fee by Sunday. So TD has his prediction. He's got the Red Sox. There was a rumor a few days ago that the Red Sox had offered him. Jeff Passan, he debunked that rumor a few days later, saying that no offers had been made. But the Red Sox are a team that has money. You have a history of Japanese players. Wouldn't be too shocked. We got Yamamoto to LA. NY teams spend money. Lux should have played winter ball. I think they're going to trade him. I don't think right now that's the plan at the very moment. I think they definitely want to see what they have. I talked to Friedman about Lux, and they definitely are excited about the potential that he has at that position. He also looks pretty swole, man. He reactivated his LA Fitness membership or something. He's doing Tai Bo. I don't know what he's doing, but he's definitely looking like he's ready to hit more than 7 home runs this year. I have high hopes for Gavin Lux. DMAC, Carnivorous Lunar Activity. What up, Diane Schroeder? Yeah, I'm going to do a couple more here. Give me your hottest takes on the way out, and then maybe we'll be back later if we get some more news, hopefully an announcement on Yamamoto, because I know we're probably going to get on Christmas Eve or Christmas when I'm in a car driving to my mom's house or something. I mean, come on now. Yamamoto, don't hold us up. Showtime fans, Yamamoto to the Dodgers. DMAC, who would you want on the mound for the first game opener? That is from Blade. Great question. I think I would want Ohtani as a lefty. What about that? No, I'm just playing. I think I would want, if you sign Yamamoto, you got to go with Yamamoto. Imagine Yamamoto, Ohtani. Think that would be electric. I would also love Walker Buehler making it back from injury. Think that'd be special. I think Glasnow would be cool, but give me Yamamoto as my game 1 starter if that's the case, and he's a Dodger. Sierra Brown, Yo-Yo D-Mac, give me Yoshi Burns. Would you want Adames with Burns? I'd consider it, absolutely. Even if you got Adames this year, it wouldn't mean that Lux is out, but if it's something that the organization would consider, I'd be okay with it, but I don't think that that's likely that you get Yamamoto, Burns, and you trade it for Glasnow. Maybe if they really want to swing big, but that would be a big surprise at that point. But hey, D-Mac, what about Burns? We talked about it yesterday, Christmas time in Vegas. Let's do some more here, guys. Super chat here. We got 199 from Tombo. Do we need a third left-handed reliever like Peralta? You don't necessarily need one. That's the name you could pick up. Peralta would be a really cool option, but I think right now you definitely want to have an influx of lefties somewhere. We talk about Luzardo as a potential starter, but they trade away Alex. They trade away Gonzalez, and you still have Vezia. Yeah, really at that position, you definitely want to have some southpaws for sure. And I think that Hader is someone who'd be the dream candidate. But yo, D-Mac, would you want Tim Anderson and Dillon as a backup to Burns and Adames? Look, I think with Tim Anderson, his stock has fallen off. Not the best fit right now for what they're looking at. And he was a shorter-term deal to try to kind of reclaim what he was. So I don't see that as a option. So I wouldn't hate it, but I don't think that Tim Anderson is the guy that he was a couple years ago. But that's going to do it for this episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. Appreciate Jose Moda for joining the show. If you did not see that, definitely go back and watch that. We talked about Ohtani, his spot in the lineup. He broke down Yoshinobu, Yamamoto for us, and we really appreciate him joining the show. Be sure to, I like this. We'll end on this one, actually. Hey, D-Mac, happy holidays, but also Darby. D-Mac, over under Ohtani, 2.5 MVPs with the Dodgers. Right now, I'm still in the Ohtani glow. I'm going over And that's why he's going to become the Michael Jordan of Major League Baseball. But see you guys later. Take a shot, T-Mac. Okay, maybe later. But that's going to do it for this episode. Remember, if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. Hit that like button for your Los Angeles Dodgers. And remember, nothing brings together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue,